Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, we're talking College Hill Celebrity Edition. Y'all know it's season 1, episode 4. The title is Y'all, We Need to Talk to Ray. Before we get started, please click that subscribe button, click that thumbs up button if you're enjoying this video. Also, don't forget to share and comment. Y'all know I enjoy reading y'all comments. So y'all probably wondering who is sitting next to me. This is my good, one of my best friends, Allyson. Hey, Ally. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Allyson. I've known Brandy since college. So this is like perfect that we're talking about College Hill.
Right.
And so, we remember those days. So It's so funny, like, being able to do this recap because I'm like, oh my gosh, when I was in college, communication was key, but we'll get into that.
Okay, yes. We have some good college memories. We're not going to tell too much of our business on here. So Allyson is helping me with this review today, so we're going to get into it and discuss all the things that happened on the show. It was a good episode. It really was. So the episode started out where they left off last week in biology class, and Dream was having a fit in the bathroom, crying and complaining about her grade from the quiz. And then Slim was like, dang, Dream left, India left. Then Dream got it together. She came back. They had to do their biology final, I believe, at this point. No, they weren't doing the final yet, right? They were just still dissecting and all that stuff. Nene says she's not cutting up nothing. She won't be doing that, but her and Frida were working together on it. Ray J did not show up to class again. What do you think about Ray J just not showing up to class?
I feel like Ray J just expects everything to happen how he wants it to happen.
Right.
Like, he does not handle adversity well. He is sleeping all the time, and he just feels like things should come easy to him.
Right.
But in college, you work for it. You work to get in, you work to stay in. And then that's why you get a college degree.
Right.
And so I don't think he understands that concept of you need to communicate, you need to come to class, you need to do the work, you need to show up, you need to be a team player.
Right.
He's not doing any of that. And I'm like, Ray J, come on, you are so smart. You have all of these multiple businesses. You're an artist, you're a creator, and how aren't you showing up to class or even doing your assignments?
Right. Like, what are you doing?
It's not making sense.
What are you doing? Right. So then everybody get out of class. They go back to the house. Ray J, I guess he left his glasses downstairs. So he's upstairs. He's like, dang, I left my glasses out downstairs. They sit next to his roommate, Lamar. Odom was just sitting there on his phone doing nothing. And then he's like, oh man, I left my glasses down there. And Lamar was like, oh, you want me to go get them for you? And he's like, oh, you would get them for me, dog? And then he's like, oh yeah. He's like, where'd you leave them? He says, just outside downstairs. So Lamar never got up looking from his phone. And then Ray J was just sitting there. And then he was like, Lamar. And then Lamar just never looked up from his phone. And then Ray J went to go get him. And then Lamar was like, oh, Ray J. He's like, dang, he impatient. And I was like, you knew Lamar was not about to get up. Right, like why would you depend on somebody else to get your glasses?
You left your glasses, not Lamar. So why does Lamar have to get your glasses?
Right.
And you could just see how lazy Ray J is. I was like, Ray J, come on, like what are you doing? And he was like looking, oh my God, I'm so thankful he's got these glasses, so I ain't gotta get them. But you need them, and then you want on somebody else's time, right? So yeah.
I mean, I don't blame Lamar. I wouldn't have got him guys' glasses either. I don't know why he volunteered because he wasn't gonna do it. So then let's see. The next day they went to the African American Studies class again. They tried to get Ray J up. He didn't get up for that class, right? So yeah, they couldn't get him up. So the African American Studies teacher, I can't remember her name, but she said they were gonna have like interactive experience. So she built a little like kind of like a little, it looked like a cardboard box with some tape, right? I forgot what she called it, but basically it was like the living quarters of a slave. So she said one of the slaves, I believe she gave the name, had to like live in there and hide in there so she could get away from the master. And it was just like certain amount of inches, like it was like very small space. You can't stand up in there. You could barely, I don't think you could even sit up in there. No. So they all had to take turns crawling under. Like Slim Thug went first and he's like 6'6", so I know he wasn't even fitting under there. One of the girls went under there. I think it was Dream. I think Lamar went under there. He couldn't fit. And so it was just explaining how like African American people at the time of slavery, how they had to live in those horrible conditions. They didn't have anywhere to really use the bathroom. There could have been rats and roaches in there. And it just made me think about like how fortunate we are today based on what they went through. Like, what did you think of that scene?
Well, I thought it was really impactful because it kind of reminds us like the time and day we are in today. Yes, there's a lot of issues. Yes, there's a lot of growth that needs to happen, but we have come so far. And to think about these small, tiny, compact living quarters that slaves had to endure, and even after slavery, what we had to endure after, during the civil rights movement, trying to survive, and, just giving that perspective. And I think a lot of the castmates were just kind of like, it was an eye-opening experience for them.
Yeah,
and really so it was really, really impactful, I think, because African American studies is where we're learning about our history technically, and so we're not living it, so that was like a kind of a form of living history for them. So I thought that was really, really insightful and really cool, and it gives everyone a learning experience because we're so used to like hip hop and watching the TV shows and watching basketball games and stuff. But now we have to get to see a part of our history.
And I think that professor is very creative because during real classes, like, you're just sitting there, you might watch a movie or you're just getting lectured to, but that was like very interactive. To make you think about it, somewhat small experience of what they could have went through, not even close to the real thing, but you know what I mean? Like, that was a really good lesson in the way she did that. So kudos to that professor. So let's see. Then the next thing, they had to go back, I think the next day, to biology class. Ray J is still just at home feeling sorry for himself, but he did come to take the test. Well, him and Lamar were late. They left him because, everybody in the house is tired of waiting on Ray J to get up and get his life together. And do you notice how every scene Ray J wake up with a jacket on? I'm like, why he always go to bed with a jacket on? Like, is he coming from, like, what is going on?
Like, is he always cold?
Like, he don't have on pajamas or just a t-shirt in the bed? Like, is he always coming from somewhere and they like get in the bed and do the scene? Like, what is happening?
Or is his comforter dirty and he ain't got nothing else to keep him warm at night?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like Ray J sleeps 10 to 20 hours a day and then wakes up to just show up and then, or complain, or talk about somebody, and then goes back to sleep and just completely excludes himself from, being a positive contributing member to the group.
Yeah, and the first episode, he was like, I'm up 24 hours a day. I'm up 8 hours, working. I'm never sleeping. I'm on the phone with my CMO in China. But now we just see you sleep all the time. So what happened?
Yeah, so...
What's going on?
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up. So then they had to do their biology final. So Dream, she came prepared in her cute little outfit. She was ready to do it. She wanted to give it another shot. The professor was like, I pushed you for a reason. It's like a test. And Dream Doll said in her confessionals that, like, the professor was just testing her as she do light tests. And then India was like, oh, she don't know how she gonna pass this final. Nene and Big Frida were killing the final because Big Frida was doing the dicing and Nene was just writing down all the labeling and the diagrams of the pig. And so we saw Big Frida came to tears when it was time to dissect the brain. So at first I thought it was like the smell or something was making her eyes burn. But then I guess she's getting emotional, and then she just got to cutting the pig's brain, and maybe she thought about the pig, but the pig's already dead. So I was like, I get it, but I don't know if I would have cried. I don't know. What would you have done?
Well, I think it just triggered something for her, just cutting into somebody's mind, maybe, because, I know with Big Frida, she like has a lot of different things that she's been through and processed in her life. So I was thinking maybe like once you like get into somebody's mind and you break through to look inside of it could have maybe triggered something for her, and then that caused her to be emotional, because I was like, this ain't got nothing to do with this pig.
Right, that's what I felt like. It had to do with something else. That's exactly what I felt like. Yeah, because
it's just a pig. It was been dead. It's used for science. It is sad dissecting a pig. I think I did that in high school, so that was like 15 years ago. And I remember thinking, "Ooh, it's nasty," but I don't think I would cry over it. So I was thinking, okay, this is a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I think you're right. Something else was triggering her. You're right. And then other part of the scene, we saw Slim. He had to leave because he had to go get prepared for a show, but he gets to make up the final later. And then we did see Lamar and Ray J sneak into class all late. Lamar's talking about, it stank. And then Ray J came in and confronted the teacher confronted him. And she was like, oh, you haven't been here? What's been going on? You haven't been communicating while you haven't been here? He's like, yeah, I have a reason for that because my great aunt died. And she's like, okay, but you didn't ever reach out, let me know what's going on. And he was like, well, I didn't think I had to. And that part, we were just through, because in college, it's common sense. Like, if you have something going on, you're going to be sick, you're going to miss class for any stupid, silly reason or serious as a death, you have to let the teacher know. You can't just keep missing classes without communicating. Like, it just was funny, like, he wasn't understanding that to me. Like, that's common sense, like the teacher said.
Because Ray J's used to things going how he wants, the way he wants it to go.
Right.
He doesn't know how to handle adversity. He doesn't know how
Right.
to handle anything outside of what he already knows. So,
Right.
like, if somebody tells him to do something that he didn't think of, then he's going to have a rebuttal to it, or
Right.
he's going to say something
Right.
against it.
Right.
When it's common knowledge,
Right.
if something happens, you communicate with the person
Exactly.
you're supposed to be reporting to or doing something for.
Right. Right.
In college, we had things that happened to us
Exactly.
in our lives, and guess what we did? When we knew, oh, I got a midterm, I got a final, or I have an assignment due, and I'm going to be late, I didn't email my professor.
Exactly.
I didn't let my professor know. And that's what we would do. And
Right.
that's what the professor would always say. As long as it was legitimate. If it was
Right.
like I slept in, okay,
Okay,
like, no.
you don't email for that.
My aunt, my great aunt, my great great aunt, I mean, whatever.
Right.
They'd be like,
Right.
okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll give you till next Tuesday to turn into the assignment.
Right.
I hope everything is okay with your family.
Right.
They can be very understanding, but without communication, they're putting you in the pile of everybody else.
Right, that you just don't care. Because you gotta show them that you care and you're worried about it too. Not like, oh, I'm gonna just blow you off and see what happens. Like, no, that's not how it works in the real world, Ray J. Sorry. This is
Right.
like funny how entitled he is. Like,
Right.
ugh, this kills me.
When you have your own businesses and you run your own companies, I get it. But
Right.
like, you know, when you working for somebody else or you're trying to get something from somebody else, like a grade and
Right.
your professor, you're going to have to communicate and you're going to be on their timelines. So that was the thing. I was like, Ray J, this is not all about you.
Right.
Too. I get it. You're grieving,
Right.
quote unquote.
Right.
You've had a tragedy. You're, you know, sad.
And he said also he's sad about he's going through a divorce for the 100th time with Princess Love. He ain't tell his housemates yet. I'm like, who cares? Because how many times you been divorcing her?
Or, I mean, the way we see his habits are on this show,
Right.
it's a very clear reason why. I mean, did you see his room?
Right.
And how he keeps moving beds because he tears up one bed.
Right.
Because so he goes to the next because he don't want to clean. He
Right.
don't want to do anything for himself. He
Exactly.
wants everybody to do everything else for him. He's not independent. He's, you know, and so I was like, Ray J, what are you doing?
Right.
You're here 40.
Right, like, get it
You're
together.
a grown man.
Get it together, Ray J. And so then he was like, all right, I'm going to take this test. You know, I'm going to just wing it like the rest of my housemates. Like, you know, I know where the intestines is and the heart is and this is. I'm like, okay, Ray J, good luck. And so then the professor was like, come on, do good for your aunt. Your aunt wants you to do good. And he was like, you don't know that. You don't know that. I'm like, dang, like, she trying to give you some sympathy right there and some good advice because, you know, when somebody dies, yeah, it's hard to deal with. But yeah, they're going to want you to see your life go on. Like, they're not going to want you to drop something, you know, that's serious and important and not ever complete it again because they're gone.
Right.
They're like, come on.
So you think I want you to do that?
Right.
Like, obviously, she was somebody who was special in a part of your life. That's why her death is affecting you.
Right.
So wouldn't you think they would want a positive outcome
Exactly.
for you in your life? I don't know. It just wasn't making sense.
No.
And I think Ray J just wanted to be rebutting everything someone said if they showed compassion or sympathy, like he said.
Yeah.
And just...
I know. Then he's complaining that the teachers don't have a heart. Nobody cares what he's going through. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I was like,
Oh,
man, you were
wonder.
like, it was just like negative. I was like, Ray J, come on here.
Right.
You're bringing us all down.
Seriously. And then even, I think there was a scene with Big Frida and Slim Thug was talking about how, like, you know, Ray J needs to get it together. Like, they understand he has this stuff going on, but he needs to pull it together. So then we see the housemates. I guess it's Sunday Fun Day in Houston. And Houston does have really good Sunday Fun Days. We've definitely experienced that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So then the girls, well, Nene had a business trip, so she left. But let's see, we had Dream Doll, India Love, and Big Frida went out somewhere to Sunday Fun Day. I wasn't sure the exact spot in Houston, but we think we've been there before. But anyway, and then the guys, Slim Thug and Lamar, they try to get Ray J up again. He's sleeping in a whole other room. He didn't get up, so they went to 13 in Houston, and so they're chopping it up, talking about everything. They're talking about Ray J. Everybody's talking about how Ray J needs to get together. So the whole house is through with Ray J. And then back where Big Frida and them are, they're talking about, who do you have a crush on in the house? And they're like, Lamar, he's like an uncle. And then what's her name? Dream Doll was like, she ain't really gonna crush on nobody. Big Frida doesn't crush anybody. And then they were like, okay, we're the last 3 girls, the 3 guys here. Like, who would you be with? And Dream Doll was like, India. I'm like, if I had to pick somebody for the show, I would say Slim, because he's kind of cute. But Lamar and Ray J, no.
Oh my gosh. Slim is like the best pick.
Right. That's the only one, because Ray J too short and I couldn't deal with that attitude. Like, I don't know how Princess Love does it. Like, girl, he pushed you in the pool on TV, but you still married him, but that's your business. Okay. But, and then Lamar, no. So then they're talking about like what they're getting out of the experience of going to college, and India was saying how like she's learning new stuff about herself every day, and it's really helping her to deal with her trauma and overcome a lot of the pressures and self-sabotage she puts on herself, because she's really hard on herself, and she, you know how she's been beating herself up, but she did go talk to a counselor, which is good. And one thing I liked about the show is to see like people like her and like Slim and some of the other characters really take it seriously. Like, they really want to get something out of it, versus like a Ray J who's just complaining every step of the way, not taking it seriously. So I like the talk that they had at that restaurant. Slim and Lamar wasn't really talking about nothing but Ray J and the experience and what they hope to get out of the experience as well. So then we get to do grades. So they're at home. Nene was gone. Nene was still gone. They go to do the grades for biology. Let's see. Nene got an A+. Big Frida got an A+. I think Dream ended up getting an A+ too, even though she was not trying to wash her hands and do that assignment. She was another one that was entitled to getting on my nerves with that. Right. Like, girl, all you had to do is wash your hands and do the assignment. Like, what's the problem? And so then, let's see, India, I think, got an A or B. She did good. Lamar got his C average. And he happy with his C's. He said he's happy with his C's.
Because he said his average.
Right.
Like, okay, so you are just accepting average.
Right. Yeah, even Slim was like, I think he should try to push himself. Like, come on, you won NBA championships. But, I mean, it's going to be hard for Lamar because, like you said, he had to relearn everything. So, I can imagine. And then, let's see, Slim, did Slim get a B or A?
I think he got a B.
Okay. And then, for biology... Oh, no, Slim got an incomplete for biology, but he gets to make up the final later.
That's right, because he had a show. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and then Ray J got a C for biology, I think. And so then, of course, he was all mad again. Or did he get a D? No, I think he got the D in African American Studies. He got a C for biology. Yeah. And he was all mad again. He stormed out since he got the C. He stormed outside and was having a tantrum again. So then they also, at the same time, got their midterm grades for African American Studies. And I don't think anyone got an A there. I think Big Frida got a B.
She got a C. Nene got a B.
Nene got a B. Yeah. India got a B. Right.
Dream Doll got a B.
Yeah.
Sam got a D.
Yeah.
Ray J started to hate because he got a D, but he was like, I think he was like, Dream got a B for being bad. And I was like, that's such a hater.
Right. He was hating. And then he's outside just sulking and crying. And then they went outside because he got left. So they went outside like, did you know what grade you got in African American Studies? He's like, yeah, a D. Man, I'm not having that. Like, these teachers not even giving me a chance. Like, they're not going to let me shine here. They're all trying to hate on me. Then I'm not going to be here. I'm just going to give up. And then with Slim outside, Slim and Lamar and Big Frida were trying to tell him, like, hey, you don't need to be giving up. Like, we're all in this together. Like, you're super smart. Like, they said he does his homework at home. He just doesn't go to class. So he just missed all those good participation points was the only thing. But you got to show up, because that's what in college the professors want to see. You're engaged. You're actually taking it serious, not wasting people's time. And like in a real college experience, like we know, like when you don't go to class and you waste time, it comes out bad for you. Like that's all that happens. It comes out bad for you. Because we were talking about that stuff the first night. Yeah. How we had to redo classes after we graduated and all this stuff. So you can't be in there wasting people's time.
No, you can't. And I think this is a reflection of Ray does things on his own time. Like he can do his homework whenever. He can do it at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. That's why he's sleeping during the day. But at school, he got to report at a certain time for lecture, for his class. And so he can't be on that type of schedule. He has to do things on his own. But it's like, it's not consistent with college because you have to go to lecture, you have to communicate with your teachers, you have to take your tests, you have to complete your tests, you have to participate in whatever assignments that are given, and you still have to do the work. Like, it's a full circle. And he only got one little part of the circle, And that's why he got that D and he was hating.
Right. Yeah. So then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna just leave the house. And so they're like, we need you here. Like, there's no quitters over here. Like, come on, don't give up. And they're telling him, right, like, he really shouldn't quit. And it was suck because already we lost Stacey Dash, and she could have really used some African American studies.
Right. She could use that experience.
Right.
In general.
Seriously. And then Ray J leaving, like, I feel like that'll be a big energy from the house gone. So I hope that he doesn't leave, but it doesn't look like he left yet, as from some of the previews of next week, but we're gonna see what happens next. Did we miss anything good you want to add?
I think, you know what, when India Love and Dream Big, they, you know, wrote the things that they wanted to get rid of.
Oh, that was a good scene. Thank you for reminding me. Y'all know I forget stuff sometimes. So yes, that was a good, important part. Thank you for reminding me. So there was a scene at the house when all the house inmates were home, and it was really windy outside, but Big Frida, Dream Doll, and India Love, like Ali said, were all outside, and they were writing down on the paper just negative things or people or situations that they want to let go of. So they're going to write it on the paper, tear it, and then they burned it, right? And just threw it in the water. But they threw it in the pool, and I was like, why you just throw it in the lake over there? Because they got to clean the pool. Like, what y'all
they were
doing?
like burning it in their hand. And I was kind of like, but then it was like a release. Because I think, you know, everybody just came with all these different emotions, all this different baggage, all these different thoughts. And they were like, we need to start releasing some of this negative energy. Because
India Love, she said the pressure she puts on herself, which I totally can relate to that because I do the same thing.
Too.
Yeah. And so Dream Doll, did she say hers?
I don't remember.
I don't think she did it, but Big Frida was his manager, Melvin, and I used to watch Big Frida's reality show when he was getting big and stuff. And I remember his manager, Melvin. So that sucks to see they fell out, but you know, things change, and Big Frida has blown up, so maybe, you know, the career path is kind of what led to the separation, but they it seemed like a good thing to do. Like, I think that's a good idea for everybody to do something like that, because sometimes you need to forgive people, let some things go. Like, you may not even realize you're holding on to certain things, you know what I mean?
Right. Release thoughts, release negativity, because sometimes we let our thoughts overwhelm us and consume us, and then we're like in this place where we're just feeling so much anxiety, and sometimes, like you said, we just need to let it go.
Going down a negative spiral.
It should be like a, you know, a continuous ritual, whether you do it weekly, monthly. Quarterly,
that's a good idea, actually.
You know, quarterly, yearly, however you see fit that works for your life, is just kind of releasing and letting it go however it works best for you.
Right. Yeah, that was a good scene. Thank you for reminding me, girl, because I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was like, well, when you said that, it reminded me to remind you.
Yes. Okay, we worked together good on this video. You were my first guest, so I'm happy about that, excited. It worked out perfectly. That is pretty much it. Like I said, the episode was good. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.